Greetings, everyone, and welcome to a very special birthday here on the Media Files. No, it's not mine, unfortunately. I've already had mine. So, what birthday is it? Well, it is basically celebrating two birthdays today. Both movies released on the same day, 6 years apart. Of course, I'm talking about Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and also Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. So today, I figured we would have a nice little discussion about Star Wars Episode 1 because, well, I haven't reviewed it for the channel yet. And also, be on the lookout for an upcoming fan commentary podcast for Episode 1. Yeah, I have quite a bit to say. But I'll do a lot of that during the commentary, so be on the lookout for that. Anyways, so May 19th, 1999, the world went absolutely stir-crazy. Everybody went out and got their lightsabers. They bought toys. They bought comics. They bought books as well. And lots of other tons and tons of mass multimedia stuff that you could possibly imagine that had the name Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace attached to it. Yes. So, with that, you guys, let's have a little discussion about Episode 1 and my own personal experience with viewing Episode 1. Right here in the Media Files. It's Star Wars time. Alright, welcome back. So, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Yeah, so, what little memory I remember of this, I was actually in middle school at the time when this film came out. And, lo and behold, well, let's just say that here it was in March of 1999. I went to go see a little tiny movie entitled Wing Commander. Yes, based off of the really awesome computer games, which are still cool to this day, by the way. So with that, they had there was rumors going around that the Episode 1 teaser trailer was going to be attached to the film, and luckily at my theater that I got to see it at was. And everybody was freaking out. They're like, oh, dude, yes, this is awesome! Hitting their, now granted, these were people that grew up with the original trilogy back when they saw it in theaters when they were kids. Me, I didn't get to experience the original movies when they came out because I wasn't born then. But I did get to experience the original trilogy with the special edition re-releases that came out in '97. However, though, my little brain back then thought, hey, we were going to get a new movie with Luke and all these and all the other great characters and whatnot, with a really cool little film. Well, what I thought was a film actually ended up being a huge multimedia project entitled Shadows of the Empire. Yeah, which of course chronologically takes place between episodes 5 and 6, and between Empire and Jedi. Yeah, let's just say that really piques my interest in Star Wars yet again because, well, you had books, you had comics, you had you had video games, and you even had an original soundtrack created specifically just for this project with all new original material featuring certain themes from Star Wars, the original trilogy, which was awesome. Which we will do a discussion on that at a later date because I've got loads to say about that as well. Plus, I think I still have everything that I have regarding that little project. Anyways, so May 19th, 1999. Here it is. School is basically almost done for the semester. And I remember my dad coming to pick me up in his new car that he had just gotten, I believe. And it was either that or he took me out of school early, like most other dads would, because, they saw when they were kids and they wanted their children to experience it. So we went to go see it at the local. What did we saw it at the Artcraft Theater, if memory serves me right, and so we were like maybe I want to say maybe second or third in line because we went and saw like the earliest showing that there was, And lo and behold, that movie was awesome. And, I mean, what can I say? I mean, you've got, because, we had no idea where the story was going to go. And so, it opens up, you get the famous crawl that you recognize from the 3 previous movies, but with episode 1 attached to it. Yep. And then you start reading and reading, and, you're like, cool, Jedi Knights. We're going to see tons of lightsabers in this movie. This is going to be awesome. Well, it was awesome. I mean, it's, granted, yes, I still like the movie. It has its flaws, but back then nobody really cared until after they saw the movie, because not only were we introduced to all brand new characters, we had one returning character that you kind of knew who the character was. You kind of knew where they probably were going to go with it. And then on top of that, you had a character who we are going to basically have his origins. Yeah. What can I say? Most of the movie, when I remember seeing it in theaters, I thought it was pretty cool. It was awesome. It was loud. And I just had a really fun, great experience getting to see a Star Wars movie in the theater, which would basically be a tradition for me all the way from episode 1, 2, 3, and of course the sequel trilogy, which will come out over a decade later after the prequel trilogy had ended. But Sitting here beside me is a whole bunch of my Star Wars Episode 1 stuff. Yeah, now I've got some CDs, some books, some DVDs, some Blu-rays, and one video game. And it's not all my Episode 1 stuff. I've got other stuff kind of sitting around in boxes and stuff like that, and they're kind of, it's here and there. It's so, anyways, I figured I would go through and show off a little bit of my Episode 1 collection that I have. So, let's see what we got over here in the corner. Alright, first things first. Shall we say the first things that I really kind of purchased on my own, obviously, was the books and, of course, the soundtracks. Now, the games weren't out at the time. The games themselves would be released about 6 months later, but it's still Episode 1 related. So, first thing first I remember buying was, of course, the book. Now, the book that I had purchased here, because at the time, this to release this book, they released it with 4 different covers. I have 2 of them. I am, as of this day, I'm still trying to hunt down the other 2. But I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I may just end up finally getting rid of the one and keeping the one that I have owned basically since childhood. The one I have owned since childhood basically is the Darth Maul cover. Of course, this is written by famed fantasy author Terry Brooks, and of course, it also has Darth Sidious there on the back. And this is the original hardcover edition. Which is cool about it, though, is that every book kind of had like its own little like spine, like color to it to aggress to look at the front cover here, which is awesome. And also kind of the same thing also along the inside as well for the cover, the flap and everything, which is cool. And of course I remember reading this and I thought, oh dude, this is totally awesome. Now I believe that there actually are a few scenes here and there that are actually still in the book that's not in the final film, I believe. And then also we've got one that I found I think a little while later down the road. I think I found this at a yard sale, I think, one time, or it might have been a thrift store, actually, at some point that I visited when I was a lot younger. So, we also have here the Episode 1 front cover featuring Padme, and, of course, it's got everybody's favorite character, Jar Jar Binks. Now, at the time when this character, nobody really liked him because of the way basically the character was and whatnot, but you know what, that's not really on Mad Best's fault, I'm just saying. It's kind of the way he's supposed to be kind of a comedic character, and nobody really took him as comedic, but clearly though, it's basically the same thing as, you know, every other cover that there also is. There's also the yellow font there, the front there. Now, I believe that the other 2 covers, I think one of them is Qui-Gon, and then I think the other one is, I think Chancellor Valorum, I think. I don't remember. All I know is that there was actually 4 covers in total, which you can see, wrong way, you can actually see right there. So, there we go, all 4 covers. Alrighty, so then up next, we've got here, now I miss these books. These books were so cool back in the day. I'm not sure if they still make them or not. I'm sure they probably do. But here we have these huge oversized books. We have the incredible cross sections. Yeah, now these are really cool where they would show off like the different ships and whatnot that were going to be made, that were going to be shown off in the movie, basically, which is really cool. I mean, how awesome is this? Then you got like the Darth Maul ship, you got the Naboo Starfighter. I mean, this is what's awesome. You really don't see stuff like this anymore. I mean, you really don't. I really miss these things and whatnot. Oh, apparently there's a piece of paper in mine that's like really old. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, I mean, this is so cool. Actually, looking at this again, these books were so cool. The Definitive Guide to the Craft of Episode 1. And then we also have here the Visual Dictionary. Yeah, now these are really cool. They would have all these different. They would basically introduce all the different characters and whatnot, and and kind of show basically where everything was, like their lightsabers. Like for example, you got of course, the High Jedi Council there, of course, featuring Adagallia, Plo Koon, Yaddle, loads of other different brand new characters that we would later see very later on in the Clone Wars miniseries, which is really cool. And of course, I just love the fact that here it is. They've also got Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they kind of show off all of his close-ups of all of his stuff and everything like that. But yeah, I miss these things. These things were so cool. These were like, yeah. Wow, I still have the Borders sticker on here, if that tells you anything. Yeah. This book back then, look at that. Right there. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but yeah. $18 for this little book at the time. But thankfully, though, I got it when it was a half-off day. So it was only $10 back then. So how cool was that? Alrighty, so I got my books, but what else are we forgetting? Well, we got to get the soundtrack, though. Am I right? Yeah. So here we have the Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace soundtrack, with the return of John Williams, composing all brand new music for the Star Wars universe. And my CD, I do have it somewhere. I think it's actually in one of my CD cases somewhere, I believe, because back then, we used to have CDs, and we would take them with us. We would put them in little CD cases and take them with us and just leave the jewel cases at home. So, yeah. Great. Has 17 tracks, so we'll name off the tracks here. So we got, of course, the Star Wars main title, which is basically a redone version of the original films, because it's, of course, done with the London Symphony Orchestra. We have Duel of the Fates, which, of course, ended up being the most popular track out of the entire thing, and which would be used over and over and over again by loads of fans who decided to make their own Star Wars fan films. Yep, they still use it. What am I saying here? Then we have Anakin's theme. Then we have for track 4, Jar Jar's introduction and the swim to Oath Goth, to Otagunga. Yeah, it's hard. I can't. It's been forever since I've listened to half of this stuff. So then we have the Sith spacecraft and the droid battle. Track 6, the trip to the Naboo Temple and the audience with Boss Nass. Track 7, the arrival to Tatooine and the flag parade. He is the chosen one. Track 8. Track 9, Anakin defeats Sebulba. Track 10, passage through the planet core. Track 11, Watto's deal and kids at play. Track 12, Panaka and the Queen's protectors. Track 13, Queen Amidala and the Naboo Palace. Track 14, the droid invasion and the appearance of Darth Maul. Track 15, Qui-Gon's noble end. Track 16, the High Council meeting and Qui-Gon's funeral. And track 17, Augie's Great Municipal Band, and in credits. Yeah, so one thing that we did not know about this is because, well, they basically kind of spoiled the movie there, and we had no idea that that would actually happen. But we'll discuss the soundtrack here in just a brief minute after I show off this other cool thing. So actually, because Duel of the Fates got so popular, well, you know what? They released its own CD. Yeah, its own single disc, which features just Duel of the Fates. It's not, there's no, it doesn't feature it's just as it is in the original soundtrack, and on top of that, it doesn't even have the music video version where they include all the dialogue and stuff. But, yeah, that's actually pretty cool, and you don't see that hardly anymore. I think they also did the same thing for, Across the Stars, and also for episode 3 as well, for Battle of the Heroes. Alrighty, so let's go through the video game here. So the only game that I have currently in this pile, at least, which was released a little bit after Episode 1 came out. Now, I do have the original Episode 1 PlayStation 1 game. I think it's in a box somewhere. I have no idea where it is, but I know I still have it. And so the one that I do have here is Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles. Yeah, this game was actually pretty cool, because not only could you play as Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, but you could also play as other characters, including Mace Windu, who else? And Adi Gallia, and also Plo Koon, who actually has he actually has a yellow lightsaber in here. And Mace Windu, he has a blue lightsaber, because we didn't know he was actually going to have a purple one until Episode 2. So, there you go. Tidbit. Of course, the game is still in here, still well preserved after all this time. But what's great about it, though, is that after you beat the game, you can actually play as Darth Maul, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Darth Maul, what can I say? He's awesome. So, up next. So, after the VHS came out for a while, and then, well, we were all anticipating the DVD release, because DVD was still fairly new at the time when it came out, and of course this is one of the, this didn't really come out until, I think it was around 2000, was it? Might have been 2001. Yeah, 2001. So it's, because everybody and their dog was looking for Star Wars on DVD when it first came out, and, nope, wasn't available yet, so we had to wait a couple years. But here we had, finally, the Star Wars Episode 1 original DVD release. Now, what's cool about it, though, is that this actually, it is widescreen. It's not a full screen. They wouldn't do full screen until like a couple of years later. If you really want to know extremely more details about like the releases and stuff like that, check out Nathan P. Butler's YouTube channel. He's like the guy when it comes to Star Wars physical media with multiple releases and stuff like that. So then it still has the booklet in here. And what's cool about those, that actually had disc art. So you had Darth Maul there, and then of course you had the infamous Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, Darth Maul fight with Duel of the Fates. And what's cool about it, though, is that this thing was loaded to the brim with extras. And on top of that, still one of the absolute best fly-on-the-wall documentaries you will ever watch for the making of a film. So, for Disc 1, so we've got the commentary, of course, by George Lucas, Rick McCallum, Ben Burtt, and Rob Coleman, John Knoll, Dennis Muren, and Scott Squires. Of course, this thing is in anamorphic widescreen, sound English, Dolby 5.1, Dolby 2.0, and Spanish Dolby 2.0 surround, and English subtitles, and it also has hard-coded subtitles when they start speaking Huttese and different languages. So then here we have, now this was really cool at the time. So when this came out, this DVD actually was for the first time that we've ever seen in any of the Star Wars films, an extended edition. Yeah, this movie is actually extended, and by, let's see, I think it's by about 2 or 3 minutes from the original theatrical release. So for disc 2, so we have an exclusive deleted scenes documentary, features 7 new sequences completed just for the DVD release, including extended pod race scenes. Yeah. Then we have an all-new hour-long documentary culled from the over 600 hours of footage entitled The Beginning. It takes you where few people have been inside Lucasfilm and ILM during the production of Episode 1. I love that documentary. I still watch it to this day. Multi-angle storyboard to cinematic to film segment featuring the submarine and pod race lap 1 sequences. 5 featurettes explore the Phantom Menace storyline, designs, costumes, visual effects, and fight scenes. Then there's also the award-winning 12-part web documentary series that chronicles the production of Episode 1. Those would be featured on StarWars.com way back in the day, and that was something that we never had experienced before. But not only that, though, I mean, you got just those, but you've also got just that documentary alone, which is awesome. Then we have the Duel of the Fates music video featuring John Williams. Yeah, you didn't think that a Star Wars music video would be put on MTV, now did you? It did, and it played over and over and over again. It's a never-before-seen production photo gallery with special caption feature. The theatrical posters and print campaign from around the world. The theatrical teaser and launch trailers plus 7 TV spots. Then we also have Star Wars Starfighter, the making of a game featurette from Lucasfilm, or LucasArts, excuse me. And, of course, DVD ROM web link to exclusive Star Wars content. Yeah, which sadly is no longer around anymore. But yeah, making of Star Wars Starfighter, that was actually in the works at the time, and it's basically, it takes place in between episodes 1 and 2, because we all knew that there was going to be 3 new Star Wars movies, but we didn't know where the story itself was actually going to go at the time. But, yeah, this DVD is awesome. This is so cool. I love this thing. It's cool. What can I say? Even the menus are still cool to this day. So let's fast forward about probably about about a decade later, around 2009 or whatever, when 2010ish, somewhere around there, we finally get this. We get Star Wars: The Complete Saga on Blu-ray. Yeah. Now the reason why I'm showing this is because, well, obviously it has all 6 of the original George Lucas films. But they say that there is 40 hours of extras. So here's my beef with this. Well, before we get into that, let me show you this. They also released the films individually on Blu-ray steelbooks, yeah, which feature a character and also features the original artwork done by Drew Struzan, by the way. So it's just basically just the same Blu-ray. So if you get a picture of that Blu-ray there, it's the exact same thing in the Complete Saga DVD set. Now, I believe this set here actually would get, let's see, when did this Complete Saga set come out? Yeah, okay, so this set actually came out around the time when they were getting ready to do the sequel trilogy. So this thing here basically has a few things, in my opinion, wrong with it. Now, this is why I also keep my DVDs, folks. Okay, so here you have this really cool documentary about the making of the Phantom Menace. That documentary itself is not on here. They have exclusive documentaries made just exclusively for this set. And by all means, it looks great on Blu-ray, don't get me wrong. I mean, sure, there's little trinkets here and there that they've probably changed, throughout the years and whatnot. But, what can I say, though? Absolutely great stuff, though. But still, I mean, there's even actually stuff on here that has never been released that was never released nor featured on the DVD as well. So it's great to actually own in your collection, basically both editions. So yeah. So what can I say? I mean, you've got you got the pod race, you've got lightsaber fights, a few more lightsaber duels than usual. New characters, new locations, and on top of that, you get something that's really, really cool that it took me years to finally figure this out. So, a little bit of a spoiler warning here. So, for those of you who have seen the movie, okay. So, go to the end sequence of the film. Listen to the soundtrack, okay? Take what John likes to call let's see here. Which one is it? The Great Municipal Band. Take that. Okay, take that cue. Where it goes, like that. You can tell it's real high pitched. It's very happy. Hey, guess what? It's a victory. We won. What a sneaky guy John Williams is. So, take that cue that I just did. Why don't you pull a Hans Zimmer and slow it down? Do, 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 do. The Emperor's theme. Yes, track 17 is basically the sped up version of the Emperor's theme. I'm not kidding. Literally. It may take you a second to realize it, but, play track 17 on this and then go listen to the Emperor's theme. You'll start geeking out like I did after I learned that. Yeah, how cool is that? Tidbit. Slight spoiler, but hey, technically, what can we say? It was the beginning of the end, and we just didn't know it yet. Yep. And, of course, luckily for me, we stood around, we waited to the end credits, and then a lot of us were geeking out because we heard that very, very small Darth Vader breath at the last tidbit of the credits when episode 1 was done. We're like, oh, dude, Vader's coming! But the thing is, we had no idea if he would show up in episode 2 or where the next film would go, because we just knew that it was going to be Anakin's fall to the dark side, basically. We just didn't know how that was actually going to happen. But like I said, though, definitely it is worth your time watching those documentaries, because they hardly do that anymore. They just don't do that, which is really sad. It really is. So with that, you guys, what can I say? Happy 26th birthday to Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Yeah. So with that, you guys, what can I say? Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification button. Check out the Patreon page. Commentary will be up at some point. So with that, may the Force be with you. And with that, I will see you guys later. See ya.